because you don't like to do the same things. There's some things you grow out of and some things that just don't interest you anymore. And then you have to figure out, what do I like now? What am I interested in now? Your passions in life may change, whether that's hobby or career. But it's not always a negative, because I think losing yourself can go one way or another, but finding yourself can be a really beautiful experience. Relearning who you are as you're becoming a new person.
Well said.
Yeah, thank you. I tried. Pros: never having to worry about your kids, where they are, if they're being treated well, if they're gonna be sick, or if they get sick, are they being taken care of well enough? And then my husband even mentioned, like, I had asked him, do you want me to go back into the workforce, work from home? What do you want me to do? Because I want to work and make my own money or whatever. But he was like, oh no, I definitely want you to stay home. It's like, okay.
Too good.
It's like, I ain't got to worry about the kids, like yours are in school. Well, one, and mine haven't started yet, but when they're in school, when it's time for pickup, if God forbid one gets sick, or God forbid if there's like a fight that happened or something crazy, all this other craziness that's going on in these schools that we're not going to talk about. You do not have to worry about, like, how am I going to get to my kids? Are my kids okay? Boss, can I leave work? Like, I know it's busy here. I can go whenever I want. I don't have to worry about them. That's something that is a huge pro for me. Even being home and not having gotten to the school stage yet. And then daycare, preschool, and grade school, sickness.
Plenty of it.
Don't have to worry about it when you stay at home. Of course, if your kids do get older and go to school and you're still staying at home, then yes, you have to worry about it. But I used to be a teacher, and it is a disgusting experience to have to, like, not teaching in general, but like having to take turns taking off of work because everybody is sick. It's like,
it goes around so fast.
Are not standing, so you go home first. You look really, really, really bad, so you're going next. I feel okay, I'll wait for last. Like, all of us, literally every single teacher, the director, everybody had to take turns taking off.
Synchronize time off. That's crazy.
And then the kids, which I didn't have kids when I was a teacher, but now, well, I'll be getting to the phase of one gets sick, comes home, everybody gets sick in your family. You just pass it around through everybody as hard as you try. So that's something that you don't have to worry about as much, which is great. Bonding, which I remember from our first recording, for me was more of a pro, and for you it's like, eh. So everything from the newborn phase of, like, their little tiny head cradled up in their neck, and like skin to skin, which I learned is really, really good and healthy for your kids, especially with my first being born early. I constantly was like, obviously being in the NICU, I wasn't in there like naked, but I would, have a sports bra on or something, pull my shirt up and pull his shirt up and lay him right on my belly, get him that skin to skin. My husband did it with him, and I really think it made a difference, a huge difference, which is crazy. Just, touching skin with another human can heal them.
It's beautiful.
And I've heard too that when your kids are sick, you can do that with fevers.
Oh, really? I don't want it.
Because their body can't handle it as much, and our body can handle a little bit more temperature, and two, before they're old enough to take meds.
Oh, okay. I don't want what they
your body kind of like absorbs a little bit of that fever from them, not to the point where you're like, no, I gotta go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But I thankfully have never had to do that, but I've heard that it's a thing, which I think is amazing.
I feel like I learned a lot of parenting stuff so late. Like,
really?
Oh, this is so helpful. And I was like, well, I didn't have that 20 years ago. So,
well, if you're I'll never 12-year-old want to bond skin to skin with you, it's your business. And then the like you said, paid in love, you get so many hugs and kisses for absolutely no reason, and random I love yous for no reason. That is awesome, because sometimes people always say sometimes you just need a hug, and it's very true. Sometimes I'll just get a hug just because.
It's nice.
Yeah. But I have heard with older kids who are still like really close with their parents, like, I don't want 100 pounds of child laying on me while I'm trying to sit on the couch and watch TV and relax. So I get, for some people, if when they get older, the bonding is a little different.
It's a lot different.
But not missing milestones is the next one, because even being home, you can like turn your back for 1 second, turn back and be like, oh my God, you're walking.
Yeah.
But you were still there. And being home, you don't have to miss like first words and first steps, pulling up and cruising before the steps, when they try new foods, what they like and don't like, crawling, rolling over. And even in the toddler phase now, like, my oldest is brilliant, and I feel like I would be so sad if I was sitting in a cubicle all day while he's learning all these things.
Yeah.
Versus like I'm the one that's teaching him these things. My husband is helping to teach him these things. Television helps a little bit. But it's really amazing to not have to miss those things.
Yeah.
And
that's the whole part of parenting.
Yeah.
So you don't want to miss it.
You had mentioned too, last recording, with your husbands, obviously both of our husbands work very hard. Love you guys. But even if they're not physically there, you can record it and send it to them at that moment, or show it to them when they get home. So they're initially not really missing everything as well. Because if you have a sitter or a nanny or something, they may or may not think to record it, or they might miss it.
Yeah.
They don't have to miss those things either.
Yep.
Then education and homeschooling. Speaking of brilliance, my youngest, I'm still gauging what he knows and what he doesn't know, but he surprises me all the time.
And because that's at that age too, where it's like development is really, really high.
And two, he's still learning. Like he speaks full sentences, but he's still learning how to talk by way of like pronunciation and learning more words. So I'm sure he knows more than I realize he knows.
Yeah. When he's beating me up and saying stuff at me, it's like, what's happening?
So fun. They copy everything too, like video recorders. They like physically repeat everything verbally.
The minute I'm like, say this and do this, he's like immediately on it, and it's like, whoa, there's no rehearsal there.
Right. None at all. And they don't forget. Like a week later, they'll say it again and look at you like, that's funny, right?
Remember that?
Then, back to homeschooling very briefly. Being able to teach your child at their speed is another thing.
Yep.
Because every child learns differently. Some learn slower, faster, in different ways. And being able to cater to that, like, you're not getting it, let's slow it down, or all right, cool, you're picking this up real fast. Like, you want the next thing, let's do it.
Yep.
That I love. So, when they're in school, I'm assuming from my experience and what I've heard, that if you want to do that with public school or private, you'd have to like get them tested and change their classes, which takes time.
Yeah.
Versus at home, you just do it. So that's nice. And then making your own schedule. Doing what you want, when you want, how you want.
Yep.
You can go to the store, do a grocery run, take the kids out for a fun day. Like, you can homeschool quickly through your week and enjoy not just 2 days and then getting back to it. Just like push through the work hard, get it done, and then enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah.
Relax.
Exactly.
So that is definitely something that when he's officially homeschooled, my oldest, I definitely look forward to that part because he works pretty quickly. And I think I work him a little harder than what will be expected of him officially. So.
Oh, that's all pretty good pros. I mean, see, pros staying home.
Yeah.
Same thing with the illnesses and stuff, and like the convenience of saying like, oh, you know, you're not feeling good, I'll come grab you from school or whatever,
Right.
or we'll just stay home and I'll tend to you, whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
unfortunately, with the school system, they can't miss too many days, so it kind of makes it hard to be like, you're sick, you're staying home. There's no rush for them to go back to school,
right?
You know, so that's because a lot of parents are like, I can only do 2 or 3 days off from work, and I got to get you back to school because it can come as like a daycare style opportunity when it comes to public school. So having the luxury of saying like, I could take as many days off as I need to, technically, right?
Take my days off.
So you just stay home with me. We'd be sick together and we would watch TV, and you know, there's no rush to get better. You just take your time, heal up the way you need to be, and you go back to school when you're ready.
Right. I really do wish, especially after the pandemic passing, that they would allow for parents who obviously can do it to send the work home and just let them stay home until they're healthy enough to come back.
So they do kind of do that now, where it's like virtual. So like when my oldest will be out of school for illness, I'll go to her teacher's websites. They have like these websites, and it will have every day's curriculum set up and all that. So she will go back with her schoolwork already done, so she's not missing anything.
That's good.
As long as the teachers are on there doing their job and updating it like they're supposed to. Some people do it a week in advance, some do it the same day, but you do essentially virtual learn, you know, when you're out sick, but you still have to provide a doctor's note, and it has to be a legitimate reason. And after so many days, like it gets complicated. There's a lot of loopholes to it to where it can affect truancy. But that's why the other one, homeschool, she was good, you know. So now she's going back to school, so I'm a little nervous of how it's going to work. But that doesn't change the luxury of, you're sick, I can get you. There's no, it's give me 30 minutes to get dressed and come get you, whatever the case may be, versus, all right, give me like 2 hours. I got to find my replacement while I'm at work, or I have to inform my boss, and I got to travel from work to you versus being local, obviously, where the school is. So that's a huge benefit.
It's very different from back in the day. And this is no shade to our parents' generation because it was a different time.
Yeah.
But back in the day, they're like, here's this Dayquil, Robitussin,
you're going to school. You
have
the night. You have the night to get better.
And if you're old enough to take pills, then they can send you with pill form. Be like, hey, at this time or after fourth period or whatever, go ahead and take it again. And the upside of that is, I guess, they miss less school because back then the virtual option wasn't. No, it wasn't an option.
You had to make up that work once you get back to school, and you could easily have like 3-4 days on top of that day. Yeah, you're making up all that. Yeah,
and then the downside is, one, first of all, schools usually had AC. Well, for me anyway, I'm always cold. They usually had the AC blasted, which makes you feel worse. And then 2, you're contagious. Yeah. So you're sending it to all the other kids. Yeah. Like my mom taught us well, cover your mouth when you sneeze, cough, not in your hand and your elbow. And, you know, make sure you're clearing all that stuff out of your system to get better, stay hydrated. But it's up to your mother's training, for lack of a better word, but also your body. And whether or not your body's going to be like, no, girl, sit down. Or, all right, I'll cooperate.
Still got PE and all that you have to go through, and different classes. You got to be able to focus and do your schoolwork. It's hard. So,
and they don't care. Like, we had the wellness center at our school where it's like the nurse's office, VIP, whatever. But okay, Mother Nature. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But yeah, the wellness center definitely was helpful with dysmenorrhea and with being sick because the nurse's office legally cannot give you medication.
Right.
The wellness center can, and I'm assuming back then, if it was available, that it's available now or even better. But with the wellness center, if you're sick, they can give you something for that, or at least for pain, fever reducer. And then having dysmenorrhea, I definitely had days where I was like, I literally can't sit up at my desk. And I could go down there and get medication and a heat pack, a cold, dark room, and just lay down until I felt human again.
Functional.
And, yeah. And then you go back to class. Like you said, you just have to make up whatever you missed.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So that's definitely better than how we had it. So
yeah.
I'd rather keep it that way for sure.
I hope it keeps getting better because times are different in many different ways, but I do feel like that has gotten a lot better.
You know, a good pro I just thought of is the convenience of doing errands and chores during the week and not having to wait for the weekend. So when our husbands are off,
can be about relaxation.
Exactly. So when they're off, like today, I had to drop something off at FedEx for my husband, and in hindsight, he would have had to get off early or try to make it in time to get. I took care of it. It's done. Yeah. So it's less for our spouses to have to do sometimes too that normal humans don't really get adults don't really get the opportunity to do when you're working full time. So that's another big benefit. It's like, oh, doctor's appointments, on it, no problem.
That's why we're working on getting the car now so that my husband doesn't have to take off.
Yeah, we can just huge help
get it taken care of. I probably will drop one off with you so they don't drive me crazy and just take the one. But yeah, like you said before, having your husband being in the workforce and working with their hands, like our husbands work really, really hard. Shout out to y'all. You do. I definitely do. Don't hold this against me. Esposo. I do feel guilty sometimes. You don't want to like ask him for anything, and I had to verbalize that to him. Like, if I ask you for something, please know that like I need it. Yeah. Whether it's physically or mentally. Yeah. Like there are times where I have to walk away and leave him with them. He's like, "Come on, man, they're acting crazy," and I'm like, "I need a minute. I'm here all day, every day." And I literally just need like a minute to recenter myself, say a prayer, listen to some music, whatever, like just get myself back. And then I'll be back on it. But
and I didn't even learn that until recently to say I need a break. Usually I just push through. I'm like, I'm wife. I'm gonna be stupid wife. Make sure your lunch is packed, make sure your dinner's ready, just that and the other. And he's never asked for it and never said like this is my expectation of you as a stay-at-home wife. But it's just like I'm gonna help you out. Like you're doing this on your own. Let me at least help you out. Let me do what I know what to do. I know how to clean. I know how to cook. Let me do it, right? But recently I had to learn to say I need a break. I deserve a break. Let me have it. So granted, my kids are at an age where I can think mama's gonna watch TV for a little bit, and they go their own separate ways, and I don't really need him to step in. And he can't cook to save his life, so he ain't doing dinner. But he'd be like, "I'll order you something. I'll get you something." I'm like, "All right, that works."
Meanwhile, we're the opposite. Like one in the early stages, like we shared the cooking and the cleaning because he was very understanding. Like you're home all day. I know it's a lot, and I know we had talked about this before at some point. I nursed both of my babies long term, and they were exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of their life, strictly. So we shared things then. When things started picking up and life started getting hectic, when we had two instead of just the one, he definitely took on the cooking role. So now, I mean, I appreciated it then, but hearing you say that makes me appreciate it more. Because, everybody's household is different. Yeah. And people just assume, like, oh, the wife is at home and she's cooking and she's cleaning everything. Like, he really would come home and just, like, snatch up responsibilities and just do them. So now that I want to say we're leveling out a little bit. It's still chaotic in here. But I was like, I forget when. It was a little while back. I was like, I'm going to start getting back to doing those things for you because I know everything that I'm dealing with is a lot, but I do not, you know, I'm not oblivious to the fact that you're dealing with a lot. Like, I'm working 24/7 and don't ever get a break, but you have to drive through traffic, work a long shift, drive through traffic again, which obviously we're not foreign to. We just haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot to come home and be like, well, time to clock in again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guilt definitely gets you, but
it also comes with like time management too will help, right? So like if you put something in a crock pot at 12 o'clock, dinner's ready, so you can still chill on TikTok for an hour or two.
We're air fryers, so we're like,
I have mine, and
15, 20 minutes, dinner's ready, let's go.
I mean, mine's is like for quick stuff, but I still haven't managed to figure out how to do a full dinner in one. So I still cook on the stove and
my
pots
husband's
and pans.
coworker, like we do like main stuff in there, but he does like the main course, the meat, the sides, like 2, 3, 4 sides, and he'll do it all in his Instapot. I was like, I didn't even know that they were capable of all of that.
That's all I'm in disbelief. Like, it does what now?
Yeah, we do a lot of our stuff in there, but not all. Like, we'll do oven, we'll do stove, and then we'll mix. Mix and match and things like that. And then having toddlers, like you have older kids, so they need food. Yeah. Where our toddlers can have,
even though my oldest will gobble up some cereal and some ramen. That's her go-to. So but sometimes I don't have to cook, and it's nice. She can do it herself, and it's even better. She don't know how to clean up behind herself.
We'll get there,
but she could cook it.
My oldest is starting to clean. He has this little mini broom. And I intended to and totally forgot to get him. It's a little toddler vacuum that actually has suction power.
Oh, nice.
Because he'll ask, he'll be like, "Mommy, can I sweep?" I'm like, I'll do it right now. And sometimes if it's not that bad, then I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And he's super excited. He gets his little dustpan, dumps it in the trash.
Cute.
Super cute. Yeah.
And that goes back to them doing what they see. So they see you doing it, and they're like, oh, that's interesting. Let me try it out.
Yeah. Hopefully he feels the same about dishes when he gets a little bit taller, but he's very helpful. He has his little chef hat and apron with his name on it. He loves, like, if I pre-measure stuff for him and set everything at his little mise en place, he'll chef it up.
Nice.
So it's very nice.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say there's no more pros, but those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head, where I'm just like, those are huge for me. And to make me decide, like, I should just stay home instead of going into the workforce right now.
Yeah.
Probably won't even go into the workforce or consider it until they hit high school, if I'm completely honest.
Honestly, I want to stay working remotely because I just, having both lifestyles. I did work from home since then. It just wasn't like, an official thing, but I definitely feel like I've always walked to the beat of my own drum. Ma, don't make fun of me, because I feel like she'll be in the comments like, yes, she's always done whatever she wanted to do and nothing she didn't want to. But I want to go out and socialize voluntarily with you have coworkers that you like, but it's different than your actual friends and your family. Like your family, the friends that I have now pretty much are family, so I can socialize with you guys on my own time and in my own way, and stay at home and work and continue to be available for the kids. And, have hobbies if I feel like getting out of the house.
My hobbies are crocheting.
I'm going to get back to it. My grandma taught me when I was younger, but I forgot. So I bought some huge hooks and some chunky yarn, and I'm praying that I can make a blanket and it comes out nice.
It's going to be so easy. It's the easiest thing in the world. It's just time consuming and tedious.
Yeah.
Redundant in terms of just the same pattern over and over and over. But once you get your finished product, it's worth it.
It is. Even like that, she crocheted, and she does like, cute patterns and stuff. But with what she taught me back then, it was like chain link. So you're getting a scarf or a blanket or like
anything that's square. Maybe put the pieces together and you get a hat.
Right. We'll work it out. But I'm hoping that that's the only thing. The initial learning phase, like you said, is very easy, just tedious. But I am nervous about doing like patterns and stuff. We'll get back to it.
That would be nice for you to do. Me, I'm taking a break. I'm gonna have carpal tunnel.
I like it.
But yeah,
I hope I don't develop that.
It'll be all right.
Arthritic hands and stuff. So, that's it. That wraps up this episode.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Join us next week, Friday. Every Friday, we'll release a new episode.